Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain what I really check while doing performance testing. Alright. So today um, I have been testing for a long time. It's almost more than a decade. But what I'm going to share is something that comes to me after checking a lot with experience. And this is what I'm going to explain what I learned while doing performance testing. All right, this is a project that I've done using locust and Python, and every application, performance testing application, will aim on doing one thing: hitting your server with a lot of user, and you have to see the trend of this request per second, handling, response time, and then how it behaves with the increasing number of user. All right, so this is a test that I have done, and this is the situation that I have found. All right, so here is the application behaving with increasing number of user. Started with 10 user, and the RPS was 5.8, and the response time was 140 millisecond. As you can see, the sign of a good application is it should be able to handle lot of user with increasing RPS and with lower response time. It should keep on increasing. As the user increases, RPS should keep on increasing. But see the trend here. Until 30 user, the RPS was increasing until 19.1, and the response time was 140 millisecond, which was a good sign. But after increasing 5 more user, I have seen that the RPS fall to 6.4 and then stabilize itself to 22.1. Response time also increases from 7 second to 140 millisecond. And it happened for 12 second, this downward trend, and it remained steady. So what happens here is that when your application could not handle the increasing request, it starts to increase the response time. So whenever at this time, which happened for 12 seconds, at this time, if anyone requests to the server will take almost 7 to 8 seconds to respond, which is not a good sign. An application which was giving you respond within 140 millisecond now will be taking around 7 seconds, which is not a good sign. But I was little bit worried, but it was not a problematic sign because the server could stabilize itself and remain steady at 22.1. See here, it has a downward trend for 12 seconds and then it raised to the expectation. See, it remains steady. Then I increased to a 5 more user and I have seen another dip here, but it also remains steady. See, for 35 user, I saw the first dip, and then for 40 user, I saw again that for 12 seconds, the RPS fall to 11, then it remains steady at 25.1. But the another problem is I've got two error, which was server side error for calling this API. And I need to make sure by my developer to check at this time the log of the server and see the reason behind this 500 response code. It needs to be solved by my developer. So though it is not concerning, but my developer needs to fix these issues, which was a server side error. The main concerning part is when 45 user hits the server and the server experiences a dip for 12 seconds again, and this time RPS fall to 10.3 and stabilize to 27.2. But after every 30 seconds, this problem was visible. So that means every 30 second my response time was increasing to 9 second and then falling to 140 millisecond. Response RPS falling to 10.3, RPS going up to 27.2. And I'm continuously getting 500 server side error in the API. So it was a major concern. See this graph here. Continuously for every 30 second, I was experiencing this slowness in the server. So I need to mention this to my developer and it needs to be fixed because at this time when 40 user hits the system, my system was getting absolutely unreliable. All right. See, the response time was increasing gradually, and this time it was not very feasible to use the application. If anyone was giving any request to the server, it will take around 9 to 10 seconds to respond, which is absolutely not a good sign. All right. So this is what I have seen previously. So if I want to show you the response time, so currently I will need to run this project and see you in action. So this time 10 user is logging into the system and I am seeing a graph here. See the same graph that I have shown earlier. All right, this is the number of user. So 10 user will be entering into the system here. All right. There was a failure, but see this graph here. This is the RPS request per second graph, and this is the response time. Okay, so RPS was very steady at 5. I'll keep on increasing until 30 user. So I will be experiencing an RPS of 19.1 and I should be able to see the response time with around 140 millisecond. So 19.1 RPS, see RPS is increasing and it should be stable, remain stable at 19.1 RPS. See RPS is increasing. Currently the user number is 30 and RPS has increased to almost 18, 19, all right, 16.8, 17.9, 18, and then it will be stable at this pace. See 20. But the problem starts happening when I will be increasing 5 more user. See, for 5 more user, I will be experiencing a delay and fall in RPS. See here, updating to 35. Each second, 5 more user will be entering into the system. See what happened. You will be experiencing a slowness in your server because there is a dip here. See, and see the response time. It is increasing, right? So it's not a good sign. I'll also have to make sure the server side error that I have found here needs to be solved. Okay, this is the business logic. This is not a failure for me. Getting 400, it's okay. 401. So it's okay because this is my application's business law, but I am not expecting any error coming from server side 500. Okay, while logging, so it needs to be solved by my developer. And also, if I find any 500 related response code calling the above APIs. So let's see the chart here. See this fall and the system stabilizes itself, right? So it's a good sign. but I need to make sure why this happened, this throttling, why this happened. And after increasing five more user, I will be seeing continuous dip from 45 user. But for until 40 user, my RPS will fall to 11 and then stabilizes to 25.1, right? So I'll see a fall and then it should be stabilized itself at around 25 RPS, right? So let's see what happened here. Yeah, it's also at this time experiencing behaving the same way that I have shared the result earlier. So it's not a good sign, first of all. Okay, it's not a good sign because at this time, if anyone requests to the server will be taking at around 14 second. See here, 14 second. 95% request will be served in 14 second. So it's not a good sign. If your request is taking 14 second, it's a long time. So see, the server is handling at 24-25 RPS for 40 user. But the main problem happens from here. After adding 5 more user, my system will every 30 second will show slowness. RPS will fall and then get back. Server starts throttling. So I need to show this to my developer. I need to get my server fixed so that it does not behave this way. Because if it continues to show this sign for 45 user, if it continuously for every 30 second, if it repeats this problem, okay, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign at all. See, my server is showing slowness here and response time increases, and then if it falls again every 30 seconds, it shows that there must be something wrong with my server. So I need to get it fixed. And how to improve the performance? Well, there are a lot of ways to improve. Maybe the server hardware can be increased, and maybe the query optimization can be helpful to increase the performance, or even the way developer thought, the thought process, maybe the programming language they have used can be changed to increase the performance. See, this this time it was steady, and then RPS fall to a very low RPS of 4.1. Then it increases. All right, I have seen that it could not stay steady. So I do not see any reason to go beyond 45 user. All right. So with only 45 user, my server is not performing well. If a real user tries to use the application at this time when the server's response time is higher and the RPS is lower, so every request will be taking at around 15 to 16 seconds. So it's totally not a good way to use this application. See, it keeps on falling, and the cycle will be visible for the rest of the time that testing will be running. So I should not go beyond 45 the way my server is currently running, right? So I have notified this to my team using this graph. This is the main data, and I am explaining this to my team, and this is what I have stated here. All right. So this is how every person. It depends on person to person how he or she will be explaining the issues, but the way to find out the proper reason is, you have to make some tabular data and explain what is happening. All right. So this data, and then I have shared this information to my team using uh, this is what a much more readable form. All right. So if I go back to the test, see, it keeps on doing it, keeps on following. We stopping this, okay, and this is what the main the graph will be looking like. Okay, so if I need to summarize, for 10 user, my system was experiencing uh, RPS, constant RPS. I increased 5 more, it was increasing, RPS was increasing until there was 25 users in the system. I saw a gradual increase in RPS. Then from 45, 25 RPS, 25 user, I saw a dip here, and then it remained steady. And then after increasing 5 more user, I saw a dip again. And then after 45 user in the system, my system was totally unusable. Okay, it's not a good way to use the application when your application is showing so much lagging. All right, and it needs to be fixed. All right, so you need to talk to your business people and let them know that this is the current situation. Do you guys need any improvement, or should we go to production? This is the answer. Your business people, if they agrees with you, then it can go to production. But you know, at least until 45 user, your system is good to go. So this is also a good sign. 45 users can use this application simultaneously, right? So if your business people agrees, then you can go to production. But at least before going to production, you should be able to answer that currently your system is behaving this way. All right. So thank you for listening to me. I hope I could explain the performance testing thought process with you guys. And if there's any question, do feel free to ask me. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye bye.